Hey, Nitsan Mosery here, the traveling investor, and today we're going to talk about the secrets of raising money decoded. How you can go out and get people to give you money without ever asking for it. I'm going to share with you the secrets that I learned on how to raise money, on how to get people to give you money so that you can go out and fund all of your real estate deals so that you can create cash flow for yourself so that you can go out and live the life of your dreams, a life that you've always wanted to. Okay? But before we get started, I want to share with you how I came about to learn these techniques. You see, about 10 years ago, I moved back to the US. I was traveling the world. I was a big hippie. I left New York City after my father died. I was working on Wall Street. I had clothing stores in the city, and I just decided to give up on life, and I went traveling the world. And about 10 years ago, I decided to move back to the States and started my real estate business up again. And I had a small group of people that I kept in touch with while I was traveling, but my network, my social network was very, very small. My business network had deteriorated. I had nothing. I knew nobody. I was living in a new state, in a new city, and I didn't know where to go. I started flipping houses because that was the low-hanging fruit. And once I realized that this industry or this niche was getting crowded, I wanted to look or I started to look for different avenues on how I can create passive cash flow because I realized very quickly that whenever I sold a house, I wasn't making any more money until I found another house, put it under contract, bought it, renovated it, and flipped it and sold it and got my money. And I didn't want to do that for the rest of my life. And I understood the concept of passive income, right? Having other people pay my mortgage, having other people pay for the expenses, and then whatever's left over is my profit. Problem is, I didn't have a lot of money to go out and buy a lot of real estate. I didn't know what to do. My mentor at one point told me, he said, Nitsan, you can go out and you can get other people to fund all of your deals for you. When he said that, it was like I was like a kid in a candy store. I was excited. I felt a new surge, a new passion, a new energy that came about me because now I could go out and I can get people to buy or people to invest in my deals. It was awesome. I was excited. Now remember, I'm a college dropout. I don't have anything to fall back on. This was something that showed me a bright future, a future that I could go out and I can create for my family, for my kids, for myself, so that we can live an amazing life. Now, when my mentor was telling me about this and he was teaching me about raising money and how to do it legally and all that, I learned the legalities, but I didn't really know how to go about getting people to invest. He told me that I needed to go out to 2 networking events a week and collect business cards and talk to people, and that was about it. So for the next couple of years, that's what I did. I went out and I started networking. I would go to all the local networking events. I joined several different chambers of commerce and I started going to their networking events. And I joined the Rotary Club and I did all these different things. I flew around the country to all different real estate conferences, real estate events, real estate networking events all around the country, and I was just spending my time building up my database of people. Problem was that no matter how many business cards I collected, people were not investing with me. And I couldn't figure out why. I started reading books. Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Chris Voss, How to Negotiate as if your life depended on it. All these different books, and I filled my brain up with all these different techniques and tactics. But the one thing, I was always looking for that one thing. What is that one line? What is that closing? How do you close people so that they can give you money? I created a radio show. I was the host of the Traveling Investor radio show that was an internet radio show, and I was interviewing highly successful individuals from all different backgrounds, from all different niches, all different careers. And I kept asking them, how do you raise capital for your business? How do you raise capital for your investments? And at every show, I was taking notes. And at the end of every show, I'd go over the notes. And what I realized was that everyone was talking about the same topics. They were sharing with me their ways of going about doing it. And what I realized was that all of these people were doing the same things. And what I did at that point was I started to incorporate them into a process. And that process now has helped me to go out and to raise tens of millions of dollars for all of my real estate deals. At the time of this recording, I had raised now about over $20 million of other people's money to do all of my real estate deals. And this is from the beginning to the end. And I want to show you exactly how I did that, all the different tactics, all the different steps, the tools that you need to have when you go out and network and talk to people so that they can give you money without you ever asking for it. You see, one of the problems that I had was I would go out to people and I would say, hey, do you want to invest with me? Would you like to invest? What do you like to invest in? And a lot of times people don't like to hear that word invest. Okay? So I realized early on, or after many hours of trial and error, not to use that word invest. Okay? So now let's get to it. Let's get talking about the different ways of how we can get people to give us money without ever asking for it. So in this business, it's a relationship business. Okay, I have a sign on my wall in my office that says successful people do the hardest thing. They build relationships. Now in this business, in this real estate business, you're going to need to have relationships with a lot of people. And I'm going to talk to you about the different types of people that you want to build relationships with. But right now, let's talk about finding investors so that they can invest in our deals and we can raise money for them for all the different aspects of it. Now, one of the first things that we do is, yes, we got to go out and we got to network, okay? We have to go out and network so that we can build our network of people, right? There's a very famous saying, your net worth is equal to the size of your network, right? How many people you have in your network will determine your success. The quality of people that you have, right? And I don't mean are they nice people or not nice people, but quality means are these the types of people that are going to invest? Do they have the resources to invest? Okay, so when you're looking to network, the first thing that we want to do is we want to create an avatar, right? We want to create a picture of our perfect investor. See, I have two avatars right now that I focused on, and all of my advertising, all of my videos, everything that I do goes out to these two types of people. Okay. Now, when you're creating your avatar, you want to get really specific. You want to give them a name. You want a male or female. Are they married or single? How old are they? Do they have kids? How many kids? How old are their kids? What do they like to do? Where do they hang out? What kind of work do they do? What is their goal for investing? Okay. Why do they want to invest? Why would they invest with you? Okay. Is it for passive income? Do they want to make their money work for them? Do they understand the value of having real estate? Do they understand appreciation? Do they understand all the different tax benefits that real estate gives investors? Right? What is their reason for investing? You want to know that, right? What is their long-term play? Okay, are they married? I said that before. Who are they married to? Is their spouse a stay-home person? Do they take care of the kids? Do they also work? What do they do? All these things. Where do they hang out? Do they like to play golf? Are they boaters? Do they just sit at home? What do they do? Who are they? Get very, very specific. And the more avatars you can create, the better off you are, because now you're going to be able to network and look for these specific people. Okay. Now the beautiful thing about creating these avatars is something in our brain starts to happen. The reticular activating system, the RAS, suddenly gets activated. And the universe, the world, will start showing us where these people are. I'll give you an example. You ever go out and buy a car, let's say a Toyota Prius, right? You buy a blue Toyota Prius. You've seen one or two on the road, and, but you really haven't seen many of them. Suddenly you're driving your new Toyota Prius down the road, and what do you see? Suddenly you see you think everybody is driving a Toyota Prius because your brain now is focused on finding and picking out all of the Toyota Priuses. It's the same thing with this. Once you have the specific avatar and you've built it and you have them created and you have the paper, suddenly the RAS is going to look for these specific people and they're going to pop out at you. Okay? And you'll be able to talk to them. Now, when I go to networking events, or when I started to go into networking events, I was very shy. I still am very shy. I don't like to be in huge groups by myself. Okay, I always like to go with a wing person, right? I used to go networking with my wife. She was my wing person. She would start talking to people and I would kind of just meld into that conversation and I would take it from there. But what I did was I created a tool for myself. And as you can see here, HOME. Each letter stands for something different. So when I would go into a networking event and I would stand by somebody and I didn't know how to start a conversation, I would go into the HOME mode. Okay, so H stands for home. Hi, how are you? So where are you from? How long have you been living there? Oh, what do you like about living there? When did you move? And you start getting people to talk about themselves. Okay, so H stands for home. O stands for occupation. So what do you do? Oh, okay, so you're an architect. Wow, how long have you been an architect? Oh, you've been doing that for 25 years. Wow, you must love being an architect. What got you started in architecture? What do you like about architecture? What do you like about this? What brought you to that industry? Right? Get them talking about it. Now, obviously, if they say, oh, I've been involved in architecture and I hate it, well, you're not going to ask them, well, what do you love about it, right? Oh, so how did you get to the point where you dislike what you do? Well, I've been doing it for 35 years. I'm looking for something else. It's really boring, blah, 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 right? M stands for married. Oh, so are you married? No, I'm single. Oh, that's fantastic. Do you have plans on being single? Because I know I have friends who they're actually single and they prefer it that way. You know, I also have friends who are married, but they don't want to have kids. They just want to stay kid free because they enjoy the freedom that they have, right? Oh, so you're married. Oh, how long you been married? Oh, that's fantastic. Do you have any kids? How old are your kids? Right? People love talking about their kids, right? The E stands for everything else you didn't talk about. The weather, the networking event itself, right? How do they get there? What's their purpose for coming? Right? What are they looking to get out of that networking event? So when you're going to these networking events, you want to focus on your avatars, right? And when you have the avatars, you can network specifically where they hang out. Are they philanthropic? Do they like to go to fundraising events? Do they like to go to community events? Do they go to Habitat for Humanity events and help build homes? Do they go to places where they can feed the homeless? Whatever it is, figure out where these avatars hang out and then embed yourself in these places. Now, I'm not talking about stalking, right? But I'm talking about going to these places as well and then finding them and building relationships with them. You see, people will do business with you for three reasons. They know you, like you, and trust you. So the first thing they got to do is they got to know you, right? How do they know you? Well, you go to networking events and you meet people. But you want to meet specific people that can help you achieve your goals and that you can help them achieve their goals. Okay, so that's networking. Now, there are many different ways to network. We can go do live networking. We can also do social media networking, right? In social media, we put out posts all throughout our social media about what we do, how we do it, right? And this is super critical because with social media today, we can position ourselves as the experts. Even though we're not the experts yet, we can use other people's knowledge and we give other people the credit, but we can post their information on our social media platforms to show people that we know what we're talking about. Okay? Now, another great place to go to find investors, right? Or to find people that will invest in your deals. I don't like to call them investors because they're just normal people, right? Whenever we say the word investor, for me at least, I have this vision of a specific type of person in a suit, in a tie, a business outfit, Male, female, doesn't make a difference, but they're very proper and with the suits and all that. Investors can be anybody, okay? And you can find them anywhere. I'm going to give you a quick story about a person that invested in several of my deals and how I found them. I was working out at a CrossFit gym. I just started working out there, and there was a guy in my class, same age. He has his own company, and we started talking. We started working out together, motivating each other and so forth. And we became friends on social media. He saw my posts, I saw his posts I liked. We connected on that, and we built this relationship in the gym. And as we got to know each other, I kept asking him, what does he do? He owns a landscaping company and this and that and blah blah blah. He asked me what I did. I never answered him because it wasn't important what I did. I wanted to build relationships with him. How many kids do you have? Where you're from originally? How long you've been living here? Why did you join the CrossFit gym? What are some of your goals? And so forth and so on. And later on, he kept asking me what I do. So I said, well, I go out and I buy apartment complexes and, I do that, but, it's whatever it is. And at one point he said, oh, my dad used to own some properties and I would love to get into that again. I said, oh, interesting, fantastic. Left it at that. One day, I come into the gym one morning and we have a property under contract and we're in the process of going through our due diligence process and going through the motions. And I was talking to him and I said, oh, by the way, we just put a property under contract in Georgia and in this area and so forth. He goes, oh, my wife is from Georgia. I said, no kidding. He goes, yeah, she's actually went up last week to visit her parents and so forth. He goes, oh, do me a favor. Why don't you send me some information on that? Notice how I never brought it up. I never asked them for money. I didn't say, hey, do you want to look at this opportunity? Hey, check this out. Do you mind if I share this with you? Nothing. I built that relationship and I pulled information out from him and got him intrigued on what I do. And then he asked me to send him my investment summary. And I sent it. He's now invested in 4 of my projects. Okay? That's kind of basically what I'm sharing with you how to do, right? You network with people, you build relationships with them, right? And then you share with them what you're doing and how you do it and what the positive aspects of it are, okay? Now, going one-on-one, one individual person at a time takes a long time. This is something that everybody should do. However, when we want to build our network very fast, what we can do also is find influencers. Okay? Influencers are people that have already gone out and built relationships with a huge amount of people. They've gone out, they've built relationships, people know them, people like them, people trust them, they've probably done business with them before. They're there. Now, we go out and we find these influencers. We can find influencers on social media. We have friends who are influencers, right? That have a huge network of people. Now, if we go and we start building relationships with these influencers, let's say I build relationships with 5 influencers, and each influencer has a network of 100 people. At some point, when I build a strong enough relationship with them and I've shown them that I'm the expert and I'm not pushy and I add value to them and to their group, not by what I offer, but helping them and building value and giving value, they're willing to open up their doors and have me access their network of people. Now, suddenly, I have access to 500 people where I've only built relationships with 5 people. You see how that works? I tell 2 people and they tell 2 people and they tell 2 people, and it just grows exponentially. So find your influencers, right? Influencers could be people in your community, people in your social groups. It doesn't matter who or where, right? Connect with influencers and build those relationships with them. All right? Now, when you're starting to talk to people, and here I call them investors, right? You want to know who they are, right? So for example, like the guy that was in my gym, I was talking to him and if you were to invest, what are you looking to invest for? What is the reason? Do you just want to build your portfolio? Do you want to make your money work for you? Are you looking long term? Are you looking to create something for your kids? What is it, right? You want to know what their desires are, what their needs are, what their wants, their fears, because the way I'm going to talk to them is going to be different. Meaning, if I'm talking to someone who's married, has kids, has a mortgage, has work that they need to make a certain amount of money, I'm going to talk to them and to present to them differently than if I'm talking to a single millennial, right? So you need to know who these people are, what their desires are, what their needs are, their wants, their fears, and just build a relationship with them and show them how you can help them achieve their goals. It's not about me, it's about them. What is it that I can do to add value to you? How can I help you achieve your goals? You built these relationships with these people. This business is super, how can I say it? This business runs on relationships, okay? So this is how you get to raise capital from other people. Now, once you've built relationships with these people and you're talking to them on social media and you're creating friendships and you're building their knowledge base, right? You're showing them why you do what you do, where you're doing it, right? Why are you in that specific market? What is it that you do? What's the process? How does it work? Who else, right? And you've got that going. The next thing we want to do, you want to figure out, are they accredited or non-accredited? Now, this is getting a little technical here. Accredited is meaning that they have a certain net worth, right? That they have a certain type of understanding of real estate and so forth. You want to know, do they like conservative or aggressive? Meaning, let's take Coca-Cola stock, for example. Coca-Cola stock is a very conservative, very slow growing uh, stock, right? So if you're a conservative investor, I'm going to present to you a Coca-Cola type of asset, something that you can put your money in. You know it's going to be there for the next 20, 30 years, and it's going to grow at a nice pace, nice and slow, very easy, very safe. There are these other people that are very aggressive, right? They like to take risks, very high risks. They like to go in and buy cryptocurrency on the first day that it came out, invest a lot of money and ride it really quickly up, and then hopefully they get it right and they nail it and they sell it at the right time and they do it, but they could make a lot of money, they could lose a lot of money. So if somebody's aggressive, I'm not going to share with them a Coca-Cola type of investment. I'm going to share with them a cryptocurrency, something that's very aggressive, they can make a lot of money, but there's high risk as well. So you got to know who your investors are, okay? Now, once you're building your relationship and you're going out there and you're doing that, there are other types of relationships. Now, I'm going to give you a tool here, okay? In the one pager, it's called my inventory sheet. You got to take inventory of yourself, of your skill sets, what you like to do, what you bring to the table, what you want to do, all of that. And, and it's a basic sheet of paper. I write what I bring to the table and what I need on the other side. And then I list, I bring time, I bring money, I bring expertise, knowledge, whatever it is that you bring to the table, right? Knowledge in Excel, knowledge in creating PowerPoint presentations, knowledge, whatever it is, you write that down on your side, okay? Then you go out and you say, okay, what else do I need? Who do I need to help me on my team? Okay? Who? It's not how, it's who. Now, the reason why we want to do this is because when we're building relationships with people, we want to show them that we have a team that is with us. We don't want to seem as if we're the Lone Ranger, right? We want to make sure that we have, or that we can present to them, a nice solid team of people that can help us be successful in the real estate game. And I'm going to show you some people that you want to build relationships with and get them on your team, so that when you present, or when you offer the opportunity to the people that you're building relationships with, the influencers and so forth, you have this team around you, right? Now, we all know what the word team stands for. Together, everyone achieves more, right? I love it. When you go out and you look at all of the successful people, look at Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was a superstar on his own, but he can't handle another team by himself. He needed to have 4 other players on the basketball court so that he can pass to, and they can pass to, and they can support him, and they can block for him, and they can help him be the superstar that he is. And this is what we want to do as well. We want to build our team. So who do we need on our team? We need a sponsor. What is a sponsor? I look at a sponsor as the captain of the ship, right? When you're buying real estate, when you're buying apartment complexes, when you're doing this to build cash flow for yourself and you want to go big, you're going to need a sponsor. You're going to need someone who can sign on the mortgage, on the loan. You're going to need someone who's got the experience. You're going to need someone who's got the net worth. You need someone who's got liquidity, right? Because the lenders are going to look and say, who is the person that is going to be sailing this ship? We're going to give you money. We're going to give you millions of dollars. Who are we going to give it to? If they're going to give it to me and I don't have any experience and I don't have any knowledge of how to do this, it's going to be very hard for me to get a loan. This is not like a single family property, right? They're lending based on the property, based on the value of the asset, but they want to make sure that the person that is running the show has experience, has liquidity, has knowledge in your asset class. For example, if you're going to buy a self-storage facility, for example, and your sponsor doesn't know anything about self-storage, but they only know about apartment complexes, the lender is going to be very weary about loaning to you because you don't have someone with experience. Now you can have 2 or 3 or 4 different sponsors that each one has something, meaning someone has the liquidity, someone has the knowledge, someone has the experience, right? The net worth. So that's the sponsor of your team. So when you're out networking and you're going to real estate conferences and you're going to different events, one of your avatars should be a sponsor. Who am I looking for? I'm looking for somebody that has a certain net worth, a certain experience level, a certain track record, right? Has a certain type of liquidity. This is your sponsor. Now, you also want brokers on your team, right? And in my master class, I talk about this. You want to have brokers lined up so that they can funnel you their opportunities. And I'm going to share with you my script on how you can talk to them so that you don't sound like a newbie, so that you can talk to them and build relationships with them, right? When you're talking to a broker, you have to understand that the only thing that they're concerned about is your ability to close. Now, if you've never done this before, you want to have a sponsor on your team so that when they ask you, what was the last deal that you closed? You say, well, the sponsor that I'm working with has done X, Y, and Z. Oh, okay. You take yourself out of the picture, right? And I'm going to show you my master class how to go about doing this. So you talk to brokers, you're building relationships with brokers so they can start funneling you deals so that you can underwrite and analyze. So you want to figure out where are the best brokers. Now there's a lot of, thank God for the internet, right? You can go to Marcus and Millichap, you can go to Cushman Wakefield, you can go to Capstone, Franklin Street. There are a ton of them. Just Google commercial real estate brokers and you'll have a whole list of them. You call them, you use the script that I'm going to give you in the one pager, and you're off to the races. SEC attorney, Securities and Exchange Commission attorney. I'm going to go deeper into that, but just know that you need this type of attorney in your group to help you create your legal documents. Okay? Lenders, right? You want to go out and you want to have a vast network of lenders because depending on the type of deals you're going to buy is going to depend on the different types of lenders, who can lend and in what city, right? I'm looking at a 91 unit in a small market. It's not that small, but it's in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's not stable, meaning it's below 90% occupied. So I need a specific type of lender that's going to lend on this specific deal so that I can raise the occupancy, raise the income, stabilize the property, and then I can refinance into a permanent loan. So I'm going to need all different types of lenders on my team as well. I'm also going to need a real estate attorney, or you're going to need a real estate attorney to help you with your contracts, with the loan documents, the title review, all that kind of stuff. Okay, now, mind you, real estate attorneys need to be specific for the cities that you're buying in. Okay. You're going to need property management company. The beautiful thing about what we do here is that we will never manage these properties. We will never deal with toilets. We will never deal with clogs, with rent, with anything. We want to put in a property management company between us and the tenants. They're going to collect rent. They're going to deal with the tenants. They're going to deal with leasing, with evictions, with repairs, with renovations, all of that. And that's why we can go out, and when we build our team properly, we're going to be able to do this from anywhere in the world. You'll be able to travel, to spend time with your kids, do whatever you want because you know you've got other people taking care of your assets, other people funding your deals. It's all about other people's efforts and money. Property management company. And in my master class, I'm going to share with you how we go out and vet good property management companies. A marketer. You're going to want someone who's going to go out and build your network of people, market your product for you, your investments. Go out there and do the marketing for you. Because remember, you don't want to do all this. You want to have your team doing all this, and then all you're doing is managing the team. You want to have someone who's going to underwrite if that's not you, someone who's going to analyze the property. You see, because you're getting a property that's a business, right? This real estate, you're buying two things. You're buying the brick and mortar, and then you're buying a business. So you're going to need someone who understands how to read financial reports, how to read rent rolls, how to read all that, how to create a budget from what they're seeing, right? You're going to need someone to do that. You may be the person doing it, and if it's not you, then you need to find someone to do that for you. And you're going to need someone who can raise money, right? This is talking about money. So this money raiser, this is someone who has done all of the networking, who's built the relationships with people already, and now all they need to do is present offers to people, right? So this is your team. So while you're going out networking, you want to network and get these people on your team so that you can show that you're not the Lone Ranger, but you have a strong, solid team of successful people who have done this before, even though you've never done this. And I guarantee you, you do this like this, you're going to be able to raise money because people are going to see that you're serious, that you have a team in place that is doing everything the best way possible. All right, let's continue. Now, once you've networked, you're talking to investors, you're doing your social media posts, you're showing people that you're the expert in your niche. You're going out there, you're building your team. Now you got to make sure that you know your stuff inside out, right? You got to know your product, right? If your product is apartment complexes, then you got to know everything about the apartment complex industry. You got to know everything about the market, the city that you're in, the job growth, what's happening there. Where is it on the market cycle, right? And we're going to talk all about that. These are the different things that you need to know your stuff about: the market, the city, how many people are moving, why are you in that specific city, what's the job growth, what type of jobs are coming in there, right? And you're going to talk and you're going to get all that information from the Economic Development Committee, Chamber of Commerce, all that. You want to know the demographics, who's moving in, who's moving out, how many families are being created, what are the economic driving factors in that city? Is it health, government, tech, manufacturing, retail? What economic driving factors are driving that market, that city? Where is the migration happening? Where are people moving to in that city? Are they moving to the north part of the city, to the south side? We call that the path of progress. And again, I dive deep into all of this in my master class. Where's the migration happening? What I like to do, here's a little nugget, is I look at U-Haul.com, and I look for one-way destinations. Where are people moving to? And there are many resources also that you can find the best cities and to invest in. You want to know what jobs are coming, right? Are they blue collar jobs, white collar jobs, gray collar jobs? Are they permanent jobs, temporary jobs, all that kind of stuff? You need to know the legal stuff. What's the right way of raising money? What's the right way of doing it? How to set up your LLCs? all of that jazz you need to know, and you need to know it inside and out, because the last thing that you want is when you're talking to people or when you're presenting an opportunity to someone or to a group of people through a webinar, okay, which is another great way of getting people to see you as the expert by holding webinars on how you do what you do, what they can expect, and so forth. You want to make sure that you sound or that you do know your stuff inside and out, okay? And if you don't know, somebody on your team should know this. You need to know your product's asset class, meaning, are we buying A properties, B properties, C properties, D properties, right? A are the luxury, newly built properties, the most up-to-date, newest properties that are being built. D's are your, they're D class. They stand for drugs, right? Gangs, really bad, the worst neighborhoods that you can invest in, right? B's and C's fall in the middle, and we can get deeper into that. You want to understand what a cap rate is, right? This is something that we talk about. This is lingo, jargon. What a cap rate represents, how to calculate it, what's the NOI, net operating income, right? You really need to know your stuff. So what I'm saying is you got to get educated. To be able to get people to give you money without asking for it, you have to be educated. You got to know your stuff inside and out. How does the cap rate and interest rates correlate? As interest rates go up, cap rates go down. Well, what's their correlation? How do they feed off of one another, right? You want to know ROI, return on investment, versus IRR, which is the internal rate of return, which takes into consideration the time factor of money. Now, it may sound a lot. It is a lot, but remember, you don't have to know everything all the time. You just need to build your team so that they will make you look good. All right, so let's recap quickly. You're networking, you're creating the avatar, so you're your networking specific to specific people. You're talking to influencers, you're creating webinars to bring people to you, right? You're presenting, you're building the team of people around you that are smarter than you. Henry Ford, the guy who created Ford Motor Company, he was interviewed in his office by a journalist, and the journalist asked him, said, well, you obviously don't know much about the auto industry. He goes, well, what would you like to know? You want to know how a motor works, how an engine works? He goes, I push this blue button and my engineer and mechanic will come in and they can explain exactly how it works. He goes, well, what about bookkeeping and numbers? He goes, hold on, I'll push this button, my accountant comes in. See, he understood that you got to have a team around you, because I'm not the sharpest tool in the toolbox, and I know that. So what I need to do is to build a team of people around me that will make me look like I know what I'm talking about and what I'm doing, and hence be successful. It's not about me. It's about the team that I create around me. It's not about you. It's about the team that you build around you. And with that team, you'll be able to get people to give you money without ever asking for it. And once you've done that, and you know your stuff inside out, and you've put a property under contract, right? Now you want to create a winning presentation. Now the winning presentation can be either about the property that you have under contract, or it could be about what you do, how you do it, right? The process. How do you find the right market? You can talk about the different market cycles, right? When is it a good time to buy? When is it not a good time to buy? What do the different cycles look like, and how can we identify them, right? That could be a great presentation. So you want to build a winning presentation. Now I'm going to show you a presentation about a property that I built, and we're going to go through really quickly, because the point of this is that I want to share with you is that you need to create a winning presentation. Okay, you want to make it look good. You want to make it look professional. Okay, so this is a property that we bought, right? Look how beautiful it looks. You got beautiful color. It has all the information on the first page. It has the disclaimers. It has our contact information. It has the table of contents, and there's certain subliminal things in this presentation that we do. For example, the arrow here, the arrow is pointing to the right, okay? You don't want arrows pointing to the left. Success graphs always go from the bottom left to the bottom right. Okay? Purple and gold. Purple and gold is the color of success, right? Of royalty. You see on the bottom right over here, the arrow pointing to the right. Talks about the investments, right? Numbers, very clear. Okay, again, the arrows pointing. Pictures, you want to have a lot of pictures. Why invest in Norwood Apartments? Why? Talk about the property. Look at the pictures, and you want to have nice looking pictures, right? You want to make sure that this is done really well. Maps, photographs, right? Numbers, all of this. Look at the different pictures that we have here. Again, the arrow pointing to the right. It's all subliminal, and it tells people that this is on the success path, right? Photos of the interior. Okay, this is, again, bottom left to the top right, right? The arrow here. So this is what I want to share with you, is that you need to build a presentation that looks very similar to this. And within my masterclass, I give you all these tools as well. Okay, I give you the presentation so you can just copy and paste, right? Investor return scenarios. We give little returns so they can see. SWOT tests, right? Scenarios. We break it all down. Then the team, you see who we are, and all that stuff. This is the portfolio of the different things, so people know that we're serious. Our vision, our partners. This is the property management company. Who they are, what they do. Frequently asked questions. See, that is a winning presentation. Okay? Now, once you have that, and you're able to share this with people, I want to stress this. I can't stress this enough. You never, ever, ever, ever ask for money. Never ask for money. See, what I do when I have a property and I've gone through all these steps and I've built the relationships with people and I've got them to know me, like me, and trust me, and I've shown them who my team members are, okay, and they see that we're the experts, that we're good at what we do. And when I had no track record, when I got started in this business, I was part of somebody's team and I used them and their success, right? Their success was my success because I was part of their team. I brought them onto my team and I said, hey, I'm going to use your success so that we can go out and we can do this. And when I was talking to brokers and they said, what was the last deal that you've done? I said, well, you know what? I'm just getting started in this. However, the people on my team, this is what they've done. And this is what they're doing now. And I've used that to catapult my success. But I've never asked for money, okay? At least not when I've gotten good at raising money. In the beginning, that's all I did was ask for money, and I got nowhere. So now, once you're out there and you've built relationships with people, you've built relationships with brokers and underwriters and people that can analyze and build the financial models for you, you've found a property and you've built this presentation. One of the easiest ways of going out and sharing this with people is by calling up the people that you've built relationships with, people that you know, and just say, hey, listen, I've got this property under contract and I'm working this deal, and I would really love for you to give me your opinion on this. How many people would say no? Very few, because we all love to give our opinions. So ask people to give you their opinions. And another thing that it does is it actually forces them to read the package, to read the numbers, to go through it all. And I'm going to give you some certain software that you can use so that when you send them the investment summary, when you send them that package, that presentation, and they open it, you get an email saying, hey, Joe just opened your presentation. He spent 2 seconds on page 1, 10 seconds on page 2, and that was it. So now you can call Joe and say, hey, Joe, how was it, man? I saw it, how was it? Did you like it? What did you like about it? Did you get a chance to read it? Right? Great software. But when you ask them for their opinion, it forces them to read it because they know you're going to call them and say, so what did you think of it? Yeah, I liked it. Well, what part did you like? then they're going to get stumped if they didn't read it. So it forces them to read it, right? And I never say, well, would you like to invest in this? I say, how or at what level do you see yourself getting involved in this? Always assume that they're getting involved and that they're investing with you. One thing that I want to share with you is what I've learned in my journey and my success journey is that whatever you focus on expands. If you focus on the nervousness, on the lack of, oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing, that's going to expand. If you focus on the confidence and knowing that you're building a team and that your team is where it's at and you're not the star, but your team is, and you focus on that, that's going to expand. And people are going to sense that and people are going to enjoy that, right? You always want to be transparent with people. You always want to be straight up and honest because if not, you're going to lose them forever. So when you're presenting an opportunity, hey, do me a favor, take a look at this, give me your opinion. I'd love to hear what you have to say about it because I respect your opinion. You're successful at what you do and I look up to you, and do me a favor, I'm going to call you in 2 days. Just really go over it quickly, and if you want me to go over it with you, I'd love to do that, and let me know your thoughts. It's as simple as that. Okay? Always present an opportunity for people. This is an opportunity for you to get involved in an exciting project that we have under contract in this city. And the reason why we're looking in this city is because XYZ. Remember, you got to know your stuff. You got to know your stuff inside and out because they're going to ask you questions. And if you start stumbling, if you start saying, that's a great question, I don't really know the answer, or let me double check, or let me go back, or let me this, doesn't look good. Now you don't have to sound like a what a lack of a better word is a you know car dealer, right? Where a slick salesman, yeah, that got the answers and hey, boom, boom, boom. No, you need to be confident in your answers. You need to show them that you have all the information, that you've done your homework. And when you've done your homework and you can present it from that point, it comes out with confidence. It comes out with an air of knowledge that, yes, I do know what I'm talking about. My team and we've put this together because we understand the market, we understand where we are and what we're doing. And it's that simple. It's that simple. There's no closing technique. There are no tie down questions. There's no leading people with your questions to a certain place and getting them to say yes. And there's no sitting at the kitchen table with a pen and paper and, have the wife sit over here and the husband sit over there and you sit across the table and, make sure you sit on the right side of them and not the left, and make sure you sit with them on the same side and not across from them. It's not about that. It's not about that at all. It's about building relationships with people. It's about understanding their desires and their needs and their fears and their wants. It's about building commonality with them, building rapport. When you have rapport with people, right, they get to trust you. They get to like you. They get to know you better, right? And when you're on social media, post about your life, about your family, about who you are, your hobbies, all of these things. Let people see that you're a person that they can like, that they know you. That's going to help you increase your closing ratio, right, for lack of a better term, on your capital raising. That's the secret to raising money for all of your deals. See, I go out to my network now, right? When you put a property under contract, you have to come up with an earnest money deposit, right? A down payment, right? Some money that you have to put in an escrow account so that everybody takes you seriously. In the beginning, I used to take that money from my own pocket and I used to put it and I used to keep my money in those deals. And you know what? Your money runs out after a while, right? I'm not a multimillionaire yet. I don't have millions and millions of dollars in my bank account. What I've learned is I don't need to have all of that money. What I need to have is a network of people that have that money that I can reach out to. So for the earnest money deposit, I reach out to my investors and I say, hey, which one of you wants to come in? And I give you a small piece of my share. Then I need money for this. Who wants to come in? I'll give you another small piece and another small piece. And I take from my share of the deal and I divvy it up, because if I have zero skin in the game, my return on investment is infinite because I have no money in it. Now, my investors, I give them a return on their investment and they're happy about that. So it's a win-win situation for everyone. And like this, I can go out and I can continue to do deals and buy assets and buy properties and create cash flow for myself, my family, my friends, my investors, and I can continue doing this forever and ever and ever without ever asking anybody for money. This is the secret to making cash flow, passive cash flow, so that you can go out and live the life of your dreams. Live life on your terms. It's all about financial freedom. It's all about creating freedom so that you can do whatever it is you want. And the beauty about this business is that, yes, I could be anywhere in the world and I can conduct business. All I need is my laptop, my cell phone, and Wi-Fi. And that's it. It's as easy as that. Don't try to make it more difficult, okay? Don't try to make it harder than it is. It's that simple. Go out, build relationships with individual people who you've created their avatars for. Find influencers that you can go and build relationships with them, and so they can unlock their doors and share your opportunities with their network. Create your team. And then once you've got that and you've got a property, create a winning presentation and then just send it out to people and go, hey, what do you think of this? What do you like about it? What don't you like about it? And you'll be amazed at what happens. I'm amazed. Every time I go out and I put a property under contract, I'm amazed that people are willing to invest in me. Elon Musk says it best. He goes, he doesn't invest in companies. He invests in the people running the companies. So be the person that people want to invest in. Create the team, right? Be transparent. Understand and know your stuff better than anybody else. And you'll be able to raise money without ever having to ask for it. I'm Nitzan Mosby, the traveling investor, and this has been how to raise money without ever asking for it. Take care. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.